Welcome to my Webpack tutorial. To start out, we're going to do yarn init to create our package JSON and kick that off. And then we're going to do yarn add Webpack, and I'm going to do @3 version 3. Version 4 is the latest at the time of this video, but the documentation appears to be stuck on 3, so I'm going to use that. I had some problems with version 4. I encourage you to try it out and see if it works for you, but we're going to use version 3 here. And we're going to go ahead and add a script section to our package JSON to start up Webpack. So we'll copy paste this from the documentation here. And I think that's all we need from the installation. And then we move on to basic setup here in the guide. And it has us create a source folder and create an index.js inside of there. And then also create an index.html. So let's go ahead and create those. And we have our empty files here. And then let's go ahead and copy paste in this boilerplate that they give us in the documentation. So this just adds a script tag that loads Lodash off of CDN and loads our index.js. And then the index.js is just a little hello world or hello Webpack script. And they have us make a change to the package JSON here. This one's not super important, but I'll just do it. We're just going to mark it as private so we don't accidentally publish our code. And we're going to create our first bundle. So we're going to go ahead and run yarn add Lodash. That adds it to the node modules. And then in index.js, we're actually going to import Lodash, and we remove it from the index.html. So we're no longer loading it off the CDN, we're importing it from our local node modules. We're running it all locally. Now we're going to go ahead and run yarn start to run that. And that's going to run that command there in the package JSON. And that gave us an error, so let's see that here. So it's saying it can't find webpack.config.js. So let's go ahead and create that now. And I believe they gave that to us up here in the documentation somewhere. Let's go ahead and search the page. So I'm going to do Control F and search for the config.js. And here we go. So let's just bring that boilerplate over, copy paste that. And just paste that in there. So what that says is our entry point is going to be source/index.js, and we're going to output to dist/main.js. And we should see in here it created dist/main.js. And if we open that up, there is our transpiled code. It's been transpiled down from, well, actually it has not been transpiled, it's just been bundled because we're not using Babel yet. So there's our bundled code. And we can update the index.html here to load the main.js, which is that file we just produced or bundled. And we can launch HTTP server and see that that works. But we don't want to have to launch the HTTP server and stop that, so let's set up the Webpack dev server. So we'll switch the command to Webpack dev server, and then we'll go here in the documentation and we see we need to add something to our Webpack config, a dev server section, and give it a content base. Now that needs to match the output folder down there on line 10. That's very important. If that doesn't match, you'll just get strange 404 errors that'll be hard to debug. So once that's in there, we can do yarn start, and that should open up a tab if you put -- open in your command. And that seems to work. And so let's go here and modify the code, and that live reloads. So that's how to set up a Webpack dev server environment from scratch. Thank you for watching my tutorial.